The story of Samson and Delilah, the ego that cuts your strength. Samson is your spiritual strength, Christ consciousness. Samson symbolizes your spiritual power, your awakened identity, your inner strength, your divine purpose, your true nature, the Christ in you. Samson's strength was not physical, it was identity strength. That's why the source of his strength was hidden. Identity is always inward, never outward. Delilah is the soul led by ego. Delilah represents the part of the soul that wants validation, seeks approval, needs attention, craves emotional comfort, desires attachment, listens to ego, prioritizes feeling over truth. She is not a woman. She is the emotional realm when ego whispers. Delilah equals the soul seduced by ego consciousness. The Philistines equal ego forces and identity enemies. The Philistines symbolize ego, destructive thought patterns, addictions, impulses, trauma responses, old identity, negative programming. They are the forces that hate your inner strength because your awakening threatens their existence. Samson's hair equals the connection between spirit and identity. In Hebrew symbolism, hair represents consecration, divine connection, spiritual memory, identity alignment. Samson's hair symbolizes your connection to truth. As long as the hair is intact, clarity remains, identity stays strong, awakening is stable, ego has no power. Hair is not biology. Hair is awareness. Delilah cutting his hair equals the soul allowing ego to sever identity. This is the real message. Samson did not lose strength because a woman cut his braids. He lost strength because the soul, Delilah, allowed ego, Philistines, to sever identity, hair. This means emotions overruled truth. Soul desires silenced spirit direction. Ego was allowed into the inner chamber. Identity connection weakened. Awakening collapsed into sleep. This is why Samson fell asleep first. Sleep means loss of spiritual awareness. Why did Delilah ask him repeatedly? Ego never attacks once. It tries multiple times. Tell me who you are. Tell me your identity. Tell me your purpose. Tell me your source. Your soul keeps giving ego almost the truth because it wants comfort. But finally, the soul breaks. This is why Samson told her all his heart. Not because he trusted her, because the soul, when ego seduced, betrays identity. Why did Samson lose his sight? When ego takes over, identity loses vision. Blindness symbolizes spiritual blindness, confusion, loss of direction, identity amnesia, inner darkness. This is why the Philistines removed his eyes. Ego thrives where vision dies. Samson grinding at the mill equals living in cycles of shame under ego's control. After losing vision, Samson is forced to walk in circles, labor without purpose, repeat meaningless cycles. His hair began to grow again equals identity always returns. This is one of the most beautiful lines in Scripture. After the fall, after the blindness, after the shame, identity begins to grow again. Even when ego seems to have won, Christ within begins to rise. Samson's final act equals destroying the ego structure from within. Samson pushing down the pillars is symbolic of destroying ego architecture, collapsing the old identity structure, breaking the stronghold within, ending the cycle of blindness, stepping into final awakening. His death is not defeat, it is ego death. Samson and Delilah is the story of your inner world. This story is not about betrayal by a lover. It is about betrayal by the soul, awakening eclipsed by ego, and the inevitable return of identity. This is the human experience of awakening. This is the gospel hidden inside the Old Testament.